Well, hello there. How is everyone? I hope you're all well on this marvellous, marvellous midweek hump. That's it, baby. It's the midweek hump. I'm going to be causing some confusion today because this is now video 1 of 3. And I think the video that is going to come out and say this is video 1 of 3, possibly, that's going to be video 2 of 3. And yeah, that's going to confuse the hell out of people. But anyway, yeah, this is now video 1 of 3. I'll get on with it. And we're talking about Sebastian Rogers, as some of you who have been around the channel for some time will know what I'm like. I call things as I see it. And sometimes that's not received well. And I'm guessing that this video is going to split the room. And it is what it is. You know, I'm not in this video saying that anyone is guilty of anything. This is solely my opinion, and my opinion doesn't have any standing anywhere apart from in my head and people who may share the thoughts and concerns that I have. And in the Sebastian Rogers disappearance, yeah, I have concerns. And the thing is, when it comes to children, youngsters, I immediately blame the parents. I immediately blame the parents because it is a parent's responsibility to keep their children safe. 100%. That's what your job is. As soon as you have a child, nothing else in your life matters. It doesn't matter. It comes second to your child. And if you don't understand that when you have a child, that child is your responsibility above every fucking thing else, above everything, all of the things that you used to enjoy are probably now over for a few years until you get the child to an age where they are able to effectively look after themselves. And that's just the way it is. And rarely decent parents, that goes way beyond that. You can have their children can be 30, 40 years old and they still see them as the 6-year-old child that they were protecting from the big bad world, because make no bones about it, we live in a big bad fucking world. And parents should be vigilant of that. They should understand that the world is a fucking crazy, insane place. And we've seen cases in the past where I have called out the parents, and that has caused pandemonium when perhaps their missing child could have just not been missing if they say, I don't know, put a lock on the fucking gate that they couldn't reach and couldn't venture out in the streets alone. You know, or cases where the children have gone missing and seemingly law enforcement have just washed their hands of it. But that's not always the case. Sometimes we just have to be patient as investigations happen in the background and they have to dot all their T's, cross all their I's, and eventually we get the answer that we kind of in the back of our minds knows there. We know it. And it's tragic because we see so many cases nearly 100%. It's not 100%, but it's fucking getting up there that when harm or something happens to a child, it's generally the family that's involved. It's the family that have done something, whether it be purposeful, whether it be neglectful. It's just the way it is. It's just the way it is. And is the Sebastian Rogers case any different? We have several different things happening at the moment. We have Chris Proudfoot, the stepfather. He's now threatening YouTubers. He's threatened our man over at Evil CJ. Poor CJ being threatened because he's saying, oh, I hear that you are looking to come onto our property. Just know that you'll be prosecuted if you do. Now, look, I know that comment will even split the room because it could be argued, what do YouTubers have the right to pry? Because there is a fine line. There's a line and you can cross that line. But I think my mentality is if you're a parent or a step-parent and you have lost your child, you should, I believe, use any means necessary to bring that child home. And sometimes the things that you can utilize to your advantage, if your mentality is, I just want to get my child back, sometimes you can utilize stuff that you perhaps don't agree with. Because you've got fuck all to hide. You've got nothing to hide, nothing to worry about. So your sole gain is getting your child back. But that seems to be an issue in this case. And I'm calling that shit out right now. Because we have seen inconsistencies in the things that have been said, the things that have been done. We have seen the mum and stepfather not join in searches. And I saw a comment and it said, you don't search for what you ain't lost. And that's a shit mentality that some people have. And I say shit mentality. I suppose it's the person who doesn't understand that when they've done something wrong, there's certain things that they do and what they do not do that points the finger to them and says, look, you need to be fucking checked out, because if you had genuinely lost your child and you genuinely gave a fuck where they were, you would be looking. You would be looking. And from the early stages, I kind of thought to myself, you know what, I'm going to try and give them the benefit of the doubt and say, look, sometimes there are just things in the background of life that don't stop. The wheels of the world don't stop turning, and just because a child is missing, there can be situations where you have to carry on regardless, because the impact of not doing so can have catastrophic ramifications on your life, especially if you live sort of hand to mouth, so to speak, paycheck to paycheck, and you won't get a paycheck if you're searching for your child. But some people have quite rightfully said even that pales in comparison to the loss of a child, and you're not going to be thinking about that. You're not going to be thinking about those ramifications because you're a parent, you're a good parent, you're a loving parent, and you just want your child back, and fuck the rest. We'll deal with that when we've dealt with this. And that's not what we've seen with the Proudfeet. We haven't seen it. We haven't seen this. We've just seen them seemingly now avoid help by threatening people who are out there searching and spending their days trying to find their child, and they're not joining in themselves. We've got this video in the background that's sort of showing, seemingly, that this young man, he went out and helped put the rubbish out. But later on, he wasn't seen leaving the house at all. So the cameras that caught him leave the house to help do the rubbish didn't catch them finding him walking away from the home. He just seemingly went back into the house and vanished off the face of the planet. It's an odd one. And when you pair that, so we've got a young man who we haven't seen leave the property, and now we're seeing people being threatened if they come onto the property, that's a problem. That's a red flag. We also have the Uvalde Foundation for Kids. I'll show you this post here. I showed a little bit about this foundation on the live last night, but they released a statement saying, "No, we are now 100% convinced that the family of Sebastian Rogers knows far more than has been revealed publicly. We are also now equally convinced that recent developments indicate answers to be revealed soon." And they do keep posting little things that come up. This is the post that I showed last night. The founder, Daniel Chapin: "While this case remains a bit outside of our scope, our general mission, Sebastian captured our attention, for we are also mothers and fathers. We cannot turn a deaf ear." They go on a little bit further here. They are saying... Let's scroll up here. They're basically saying that they can't really reveal anything. What happened in Uvalde, Texas? Who was the Uvalde Foundation for Kids? Here we go. Where are we? Regardless about our efforts continue, and our stance remains at this juncture to avoid jeopardizing the progressing investigation. We cannot elaborate further. Answers are forthcoming. So they seem to be very, very certain that there's going to be things come up. And look, it could well be. I believe that we are going to get somewhere, and it ain't looking good. Sebastian's dad has also, in the last few hours, got a private investigator involved as well. So, and we have seen numerous things out and about that would suggest that he believes that there's more to this than meets the eye, and he seems to be very highly focused on mum and stepdad. And look, I will turn around and say, and I said this previously, let's not forget, yes, this boy is autistic, but they say he's high functioning. And I know through my own experience with people with autism that they are very, very good at let me say, formulating a plan, hatching a plan, and carrying that plan out. They can be incredibly, incredibly resourceful. And that's how I felt about this originally. But as time progresses, that resourcefulness is going to run out. There is many, many things. And we are 52 days down the track now. And you know, when you start getting this far down the track, and you know, all of the people, even like this lad's dad has not been included in his plan. Again, that raises red flags to me, because I think, you know, the dad, in my opinion, as far as we've seen, is a genuine person. Some people are throwing a little bit of shade at him, but at the end of the day, we don't know. We don't know fully. We don't really know about the Proudfeet, but I just will call out the behaviour that I see. And when there is a child that goes missing, like I say, statistically, it ain't going to end well. And it generally comes back to the family and those closest to that individual. But I'd like to know what you think. Where do you think this is going to end up? Where is it going to go? Because, again, I saw clips of Sebastian yesterday in the interview that his mum done. And to me, that didn't look like a boy who could survive out there on his own. And it did appear to be a boy that could have sparked something that went off in the home and had huge repercussions that you're not going to come back from. And you know, it's a tragic situation, but these things can happen. And I just wonder if something happened in that house. There was an event that it was a catalyst to something that spiraled out of control, and it didn't end well. But let me know down below what you think. Hopefully this will still have a happy ending. It could still have a happy ending, and perhaps we who think there could be something more nefarious going on are simply just wrong, and we're just thinking about what's happened in the past. But look, statistics are there for a reason. They're there to remind us, to show us that these things happen, and generally when they happen, you know, it's certain people have to be looked at very closely. Let me know what you think down below, and I'll catch you all in video 1 of 2, but it's 2 of 3. I'm just going to shut up and go. Have a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.